Well, I am back. It has been a couple of weeks and I have been in Vegas for Wedding MBA. I have been in Florida twice. I've been here in Austin. I am on my way to Cabo to go to Engage. I am so excited to meet my friends, but I am going to throw back today to June when we were in Banff, and I sat down with Andrea Eppolito of Andrea Eppolito Events. She is a luxury planner and an all-around incredible businesswoman. And we hear a little bit about her story, but also about the community of Engage and how it's impacted her business. If you are going to join us, comment below. I'd love to meet you. If not, you have to put it on your radar for 2019. There's typically 3 or 4 a year all over the world, and it is something that totally has changed the way that I approach my business, the community that I've built to be able to call people from anywhere and get their honest feedback has been critical in me growing and getting into the luxury event space. I am so lucky to call Andrea a friend and a partner, and you're gonna really love her story and the way that she has invested in herself, invested in her community by being a part of the Engage family. So here we are at Engage. I know, I feel like I've been waiting to see you for so long.
You know what the hard thing is so Engage happens for us in this hemisphere twice a year, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so we have this time in December, and we have this time in June. Well, right after June, we're all in New York for the Knot Gala.
True.
And we're all in Vegas for Wedding MBA. So we have like June,
2 months.
September, October, I'll see you in 6 weeks, in December. And then it's like this dry spell. And so we go 6 months.
I know.
And we're
Since
like,
December. I don't think that's last time. Yeah, that would have been last time.
yeah, we're basically on social being like, I miss you. But this is grown-up camp.
Yeah.
For our people, for me.
It totally is.
I plan my year based on Engage and the Knot Gala every year for the last 8 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so re-energizing. And I think a lot of people here are like in pivotal points in their careers, and we've all been in this industry for years and years and making adjustments and like refining and continuing to scale our luxury businesses. And so I think it's a really nice time to just reset, reevaluate in a safe space, have those conversations that are, you know, hard. Yeah.
But the safe space, so for me, I'm based in Las Vegas. It's a very small market. It's not a market that has been associated with luxury for a long time. When I opened up my business 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I had a boss who was like taking bets on how long it was going to take me to come back to work. Because nobody thought that you could produce a sustainable business based in luxury in that market. And within the first year, I found Engage. And I remember telling my husband, like at the time, like, I'm not making money, I don't do this. And it's hard to say, I didn't have a right to be in the room. I hadn't refined my story. My story was so new. And even though I got involved in weddings when I was 15, I mean, I got my first job at a wedding trade show when I was 15 years old. So I'm 400 years old and a wizard, and I've been doing this forever. But like, as Andrea Eppolito Events, there was no narrative. So I went, and I remember going home and being like, I can do this. There are people who are making a living. There are people who are making a life. There are people who are growing beyond being a wedding planner, and their brands are expanding and their influences. Like, if I show up and I do the work, I think I can make this happen. And so this conference and the education and the relationships and the people we meet, it became this driver and a community that I didn't have in my backyard. I couldn't look at another wedding planner in Vegas and be like, so I've got this couple with, you know, $500,000 and I'm looking for a drapery person, because the average in the city was 20.
In your ecosystem, you didn't have the resources or even anyone to call to have the discussion of like, what does this look like?
Yeah, and no disrespect to anyone in Las Vegas, because first of all, I think that every strata of the industry needs to exist. There has to be a place where people with $15,000 can go and have a beautiful experience. I just don't specialize in that.
I think people don't realize the vastness of what's available in Las Vegas in a lot of ways, because there is definitely an extreme range.
There's such a range.
But I think you've also been pivotal in changing the perspective of not only the other vendors who are leveling up their businesses, but also, you know, for couples to know that they can have this something larger, and either locals staying and choosing to have their weddings there, or creating a destination for your international clients. Like it's
I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of feather ruffling. There were a lot of people in my own backyard that were like, well, she thinks she's too good for Vegas, or she thinks she's better. I was never better, I was just different. And my goal was, why can't we all be better? Why can't we all have better businesses? Why can't we all do better work? Why can't we work with better teams? Why can't we make more money? Why can't we deliver to our clients a better experience? Why can't we be just as good as New York? Like, we have one small strip of land. It's one street, and there's more talent, like indigenous talent on that street than in any other concentrated area in the world. I mean, chefs, yes. Have you been to the Bellagio, like the conservatory? The people that are physically making those flowers are the same people that are physically making your bouquet. So of course we can produce, but there was this mindset of, well, Vegas doesn't do that. I wanted to do it. I just happened, geographically, I lived in Vegas. And so I said, well, we're going to do it. We're going to do it here. And it took a lot of years of me being very much on the outside in my own backyard. And I would look at my husband, and I'm not perceived as an overly sensitive person, but it would hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
But I come here, and here I have peers. Here I have somebody that looks at me and goes, no, I'm going through the same shit. Like, no, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Or here I can look at another planner and be like, hey, I'm in a place I don't know what to do. And there are people that I can teach and that I can mentor and that I can hopefully influence in a good way and inspire. And there are people that are so inspiring to me, that are teaching me things. They're like, hey, I saw that wedding. How did you do this? And I tell them, and they're like, yeah, I thought that was it. Don't do that. So when I say that this conference changed my business, it changed my business, which changed my life, which changed the life of my husband, which changed the lives of my kids, which then changed the life of all of the people in my very small environment. So now other people are saying, you know what, we can do this. Like, how cool would it be to do that, or to work with these teams? Now I'm not a unicorn anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't care about the competition. I actually, like, I fucking love the competition. But I have people now, and that all stems from being here.
Well, I think in the industry, and especially in the luxury segment, I would say, there's so much isolation. And I think especially as innovators in our industry, I think it's hard for other creatives to judge themselves, and then therefore they're withdrawing, and it's hard to have partnerships in local markets when you're the one who's like all gas, let's change things, let's do things. And so I think for me, especially being in the Engage environment, to have people who I can call 24/7, I don't have those people locally that I could lean on, or say, okay, I need to go out to coffee, but I can set up a Skype with you, or I can make a phone call. And I think that if I would have had that at the beginning of my business like you did, you know, I waited too long to come to Engage. It was like, I'm probably 7 years in by then, but like it really is something that I think, you know, surrounding yourself with like-minded people who are also, I feel like we're in a wave, you know, the generations before us that we're educated by, it makes me feel like proud also that we're kind of stepping into that next generation role.
It's so funny you say it, because I look at, so you and I both speak, like we're both speakers, we're both out on the circuit, and we do the whole thing. I remember when I first started coming, looking at the people on stage, on the main stage, in the breakouts, and having this idea of like, they've made it. Like, you've been asked to be here, to speak to us, like thinking like, if you ever got there, like that would mean that I was real. Here's the thing. We are all, as creatives, we are 24-hour heroes, only as good as our last presentation, as our last event, as our last stationery suite, as the last production. And it's so funny that we have voluntarily put ourselves in a place where we are judged and then we move on. We are judged and then we move on. But it's this driver to, I don't have a choice. I can't, not for lack of skill or talent, because we both have, you and I both own multiple businesses, and we're both diversified in different industries. I can't
be bored otherwise.
Yeah, but I can't not do this.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't not pick those flowers. I can't not talk to you about that dress. I can't not taste this food. I don't know how to make the world a better place, and I'm not curing any, like, I'm not doing anything on a global scale.
No one's dying here.
Right, but one couple, one family, one small ecosystem of the population, for one night, the universe bends to their will. And they have this benchmark and this moment. And I am the puppet master. And I am Oz behind the curtain. And I am creating this for them. And I'm giving it to them into the world. And I really feel like, karmically, it's to offset my own shit. Like, the things that I've been through, the things that I've seen, the life that I lived, I have to shift it. It can't all be hard. There has to be something beautiful that comes from it. I think especially in the luxury space, and when you read blogs, people talk about how, like, it's a money grab, or it's so much money, or it's this, like, there's this idea that, like, we're all just here for your money.
That's true. Yeah.
Which I don't know anyone who's here for the money.
No.
I don't know anyone who takes on.
It's the same issues, regardless, you know, like the drama that we have with our couples.
Yeah.
It's the same if it is a $15,000 wedding. I mean, period. You know, I think that there's a lot of, you know, I don't know, like, yeah, there's a lot of preconceived notions that are completely inaccurate.
Right.
And I think especially, you know, viewing without having that circuit around you of people who are like-minded to you, or even talking to someone about the realness of what we deal with, because social, you know, like what we put out there is beautiful work, and it is extravagant, and it is, you know, all of
Right. But at the end of the day, you still have two people who are in love, who want to have an experience.
So I like to ask everyone, what is like something that is life-changing to your business that saves you time, prevents stress?
There's a couple of things that have really like helped me shift. I do set my alarm clock a little bit earlier than I normally would, and I'm not a morning person. Like when people would be like, "Oh, we're getting up at this time," now I get up at like 5:30, 5:45. But I do really try to be mindful. I try to sit in the morning and just think for a few minutes, like before I pick up my phone.
I think it's critical to, I think as stressful as our world is and our industry is, you have to open your heart. You have to be self-aware. You have to practice self-care. You have to be like, where is my level today, and how am I, you know, like, what do I need to change to be more present, or more, you know, like, fill that hole, fill that heart. And
it's mentally being grateful, but it's also trying to realize, like, when we come here and we look at other people's businesses, there are some iconic people presenting this week whose businesses are truly extraordinary, and I have zero desire to be them. Because when I look at my life, and when I look at my priorities, and I look at the things that matter to me, and I have to strata that out, I can come here and I can respect the work, I can respect the business, I can respect the individual, and I could also know that it has no place in my world. And so just turning around and saying, like, these are things that I have, these are things that I want, these are things I'm grateful for. Because how many times have you left here or any other conference and been like, should I be doing more? Like, should I build a pony out of straws for someone? Like, if I'm not doing this, what does it say about my business? If I haven't done that, what does it say about my life? When the reality is, it doesn't say anything. It just says that there are choices, and that these are the other choices. And so remembering that every morning, that I'm exactly where I sit today is where I wanted to sit, where I was desperate to sit 8 years ago. But the journey,
I know, is really where it's at. So I think we're both dealing with health issues, and that's, you know, and I think that, you know, even thinking about like our bodies and long-term purpose and like all these things, it really is like, it's every moment and savoring each step in your business, each step in where you're at in your life and your children's lives, and you know, it's really like, it really is part of that whole step by step by step.
But that's why it's great that we have each other, like not just you and I, but you and I have each other, and we hold each other out to a higher standard.
100 of your best friends. I mean, that's why it's summer camp. It's like,
like
we need more than 5 minutes, but there's so many people here, and there's so many, everything.
But for, like, we will check in on each other.
Yeah.
And if I don't talk to you, when I talk to Susie, I go, did you talk to Kaylee?
How's she doing? What's happening?
She goes, did you hear this? And then Susie tells you, oh, Andrea got into a fight on the plane in Jamaica. Like, but there's an osmosis that happens with us.
Yeah.
Like, we get to live through each other. We get to live with each other. We get to live for each other, and we all, sometimes kicking and screaming, drag each other along on a journey that sometimes you might not want to be on. But like, if I'm good at anything, I'm good at like, okay, look, this is where we are. This is where we're at. We can cry, we can bitch, we can moan, we can wish away, but this is where we're at. And the only way out is through. And we drag each other through.
We do, absolutely.
And you know, and what's on the other side is pretty fucking extra. Like, it's it's pretty extraordinary. It's pretty great. But
I think that's one of the main reasons. That's the because of Engage is that we pull each other through. And I think that's what makes it so spectacular.
And getting to the other side without each other.
No, I need all of you. So let's get.
But could you imagine being on the other side without each other? Like,
no.
Could you imagine being there and having no one to share it with, no one who went through it with you, no one to celebrate that? Because we both have husbands, we both have friends, we both have families. And as much as they know us, this is different.
I agree.
And so, because of Engage, thank you, Engage.
Yes.
But that's, that's the because of Engage, and that's why we're here instead of sitting in session.
I know. No, it's true. This is where it's at. It's late night hours. It's the after parties. It's the
which I missed last night because I was having my own after party in the hallway.
Oh, fun! But that's it. But you were having your own after party in the hallway.
This is what I come for. If I never sit in another session again, I'll be sad. But if my 5 days are spent like this, then it's money and time well spent.
Absolutely.
So, thank you for having me, and I'm so proud of you that you have this.
Oh gosh.
No, seriously.
Well, I think, and a lot of this has been in my heart for a long time, and because of a lot of you who have made phone calls. So when are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it?
How's your podcast?
What are you waiting? And I think that push is really what has been so leveraging. So I owe it all to many of you.
Dragging each other through.
Let's go have fun.
Okay, we'll shake it out.
All right. We're here in Banff.
We are in Banff. We are at Engage. How are you? Hi, everybody.
I'm so glad it's over.
I know. We've got the gala tonight. We're going to be fancy.
So where can everyone find you online?
You can find me online at www.andreaeppolitoevent.com. And I am socially everywhere at Andrea Eppolito. And I'm super social. I will respond to everybody.
So reach out, tell her what you loved about our interview.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye.